But as far as cats are concerned, I might get that cat to be able to do like the cat on Saturday Night Live. If I could get that going, dog, I'd be famous, man. I used to love that cat, man. That cat used to drive and everything, rob a bank, the whole nine. We could just, be in the cat. Sorry.
Man, I gotta give it up. Bobby brought it up, man. The most famous cat scenes ever was Cartman's cat having an orgy on South Park. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That if you go look, you can go just YouTube. It's about 5 minutes worth of just hilarious cats doing the most wild stuff ever. But that's why South Park is specifically on like Paramount right now. You can only watch it on like
And speaking of Jay shouldn't have brought up SNL. You know what you made me think of, man? Anybody remember Mr. Bill?
Oh,
no! Yo, that joint was so hilarious, bro.
Oh god.
Fire Marshal
I
Bill
love it.
in Living Color though. Fire Marshal Bill, that was my. Let me tell you something.
Told you, man, this show ain't gonna be about basketball, man.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Friday night edition of RecRoomSports presents In the Hoop. We got the whole gang in the building, man. It's the homies. You know what time it is. So we got JDMIC, we got Bobby G, we got Allen in the building. That's right, Mr. AP, Oklahoma's finest. Gentlemen, we've been talking hoops pretty much and preparing ourselves for this very moment for a long time. March Madness is upon us, but at the same time, the NBA is going full swing into the playoffs, and I think that this is one of those really interesting times. On another show, if just in case you've been living under a rock, on the Rec Room Sports Radio Show, we got a chance to talk with Uncle Scott Cole, so he could teach us all about what the thoughts were on the WBC and what happened with us in Venezuela. But then the rest of everything else we've been doing was based around basketball, fellas. I mean, March Madness has happened. Upsets have taken place. There have been some teams bounced, some brackets broken already, and I can't wait to get deeper into that. But first of all, just to get the juices flowing, if you will, let's start with a little bit of NBA. We're familiar with this one, right? So not only are we getting closer to the NBA postseason, but a major injury has happened to one of the top teams as we get a chance to look into what's going on with the Detroit Pistons. Now, Cade Cunningham has suffered what is has been reported as a collapsed left lung. Oh my God! Now, that's not nothing minor. That's a real thing. So after diving for a loose ball and colliding with Wizards rookie Trey Johnson, he has been pretty much diagnosed with pneumothorax, if I'm saying that correctly, because I had to go look it up. He will be reevaluated in 2 weeks, sidelining him for at least 8 games. The injury is described as mild, and there's optimism that he could return by the start of the playoffs, which is April 18th, right? Detroit has 14 games left, guys. And of course, we know right now that 24 points is going to be crucial, right? Eastern Conference is live and thriving as we've seen multiple teams make their way towards the finish line. Of course, we gotta talk about the Celtics. We got to talk about the Atlanta Hawks and their 11-game win streak. What does this mean for Detroit and the rest of the Eastern Conference? Is if maybe the front runner for Eastern Conference Player of the Year, if there was a reward for that, if is not playing, what does that mean, fellas?
I mean, when you talk about Detroit, we all talked about it. Cade Cunningham was the motor that kept everything going. And if they were to lose him, I mean, they were shot. It was his show. He led the show. He made everything run, just like I just said. And it will be unfortunate, which it has happened. I guess fortunately, it has not happened in the playoffs. They still have some time to recoup and get some things together. I'm pretty sure like the rotation could change. You know, you could actually get some guys some minutes that you didn't really get a look at as much. Some young guys can get some burns. So I mean, they're going to lose some games. That's for sure. You know, they're going to lose a little bit of you know what they do have going on in the East. I mean, the East to me is wide open anyway. You know, the Hawks just lost they fell short of what 12 in a row. So you know, but they're still on the come up. You know, all these teams that went on these winning streaks in the past, like the Hornets and like I said, the Hawks. All that they did is just good enough for like eighth, ninth, 10th seed. So still a lot of work to be done in the East for a lot of teams. But you know, as far as Detroit, they could get a look, you know, at some of these guys that you know, at least some of the young guys. But you know, Cade Cunningham and some vets and that's pretty much all they have, man. So they're gonna need to at least figure out. Think about it, like you always want to put your team through everything. So you don't want it to be like this, but you know, it kind of gives you a chance to see how you can weather the storm of him not being around. So it could be a blessing in disguise in some kind of way.
Um, yeah, man, I agree. I agree with a lot of that, man. Cade, he's offense. Just put it, that's my biggest reasoning into a few weeks ago when we talked about teams who were contenders or pretenders. It's the biggest reason why I had Detroit in a pretender state. Um, because when you get to the playoffs, who's that secondary score? If Cade doesn't have it going, you traded him away. I mean, they had Jaden Ivey, but you traded him away. He was the only guy you could get the ball to and say, "Go give me a bucket." I mean, who you gonna lean on for that? Uh, Now, Karis LeVert is literally the only other guy on the roster who can go get his own bucket. Um, and it's just super bad timing. Super bad timing. They're only 4 games in front of the Celtics for that 1 seed, and let's say they are able to hang on to the 1 seed. Like Jay mentioned, you got the Hornets and Hawks who are surging. These are potential first round matchups. Tough first round matchups. Both teams are athletic. They like to get up and down. And even if Cade recovers, man, you hit the playoffs. That's going to affect the pace at which you play. You know what I mean? And you get to the playoffs, man, they're gonna check, hey, those inside elbows that they're gonna touch you up, as Chuck and Shaq like to say. So uh just very unfortunate for the Pistons. Absolutely outstanding for my Cavs because we went through it last year, so I know exactly how they feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough break for Cade because, again, like you guys said, he is one of the best players in the NBA. He is the scorer for the Detroit Pistons. He's the guy that, you know, when they need something to happen, he usually takes over a game and makes it happen. And I agree with you, Bobby, in the fact that if one of these two teams, whether Charlotte or Atlanta, if they end up having to face Detroit round one and Cade's not fully back yet, that they are ripe for the picking. That could be an 8-1 upset, 7-2 upset, and that could change the entire course of the Eastern Conference playoffs. So, um, hopefully Cade comes back and plays healthy. Rib, lung injuries are not fun to deal with at all, especially if you're playing elongated minutes. If he's playing 20, 30 minutes a game, it's going to be hard for him to be out there, especially with the uh, the hard to breathe moments sometimes. So it'll be interesting to see how he recovers and how he's able to handle the injury if he does come back for the postseason. But if I'm the Hornets or if I'm uh, the Atlanta Hawks right now, I'm licking my chops because if Cade's out for at least the first couple games of the postseason, they have a shot.
Sure, if I was the Knicks, I would be kind of,
Mhm.
I hate to say it, enjoying the fact that he could possibly be out even possibly going into the playoffs because it's no guarantee. You know, they say 2 weeks or coming back on in April at a certain time. You know, I'm pretty sure Jalen Brunson's like good because I can't. It's a bad matchup for him. It's a bad matchup for the Knicks. They do not want any parts of Detroit, and you know, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and they got a tough stretch coming up. You got the Lakers on Monday. After that, you play the Hawks. You get a break on the Pelicans, but you got the Timberwolves, Thunder, Raptors, and Timberwolves again.
Yeah. That's and you took the words out of my mouth. I can't lie to you, bro. Them 2 Timberwolves games, looking kind of scary right now. Okay. And I'm not saying that, and I'm not talking down, right, as we are, discussing it, but I believe Dennis Jenkins is starting at point while Cade Cunningham is out.
Yeah.
Of course, they got Duncan Robinson or Sora Thompson, 2 guys who don't necessarily, make their own shots, but Duncan Robinson is a bucket especially in a corner 3 position. Or Sora Thompson, they got him out there for defense. Old school veteran Tobias Harris, we know what's going on here. And Jalen Duren, I get it. A dominant interior presence, but once again, not a ball handler, does not create his own shot. He eats off of offensive rebounds and pick and pop motions. That's what Jonathan Duren does well. So they will be missing that. But as we once again look at the standings, Boston right there at number 2, 46 and 23. The Knicks at 3, 45 and 25. Cleveland, 43-27. Toronto. This right here could slightly move the Pistons down to maybe 2 or 3, especially if they lose at least 3 or 4 of these games going forward. And the Celtics make up on more ground because, of course, I don't know if y'all have been noticing, guys, man. Jason Tatum being stable in a secondary role is actually doing pretty good. I can't lie, but I am extremely surprised, even as a Boston Celtics fan. So, just like y'all mentioned, other teams such as the Knicks and especially Bobby G's Cleveland Cavaliers, who have James Harden looking like a brand new man with a same old beard, looking really good right now. Some players who really will eat around the point guard position. I think they should look at it like, hey, if we get that opportunity, we got to take advantage of it. And then just like Alan said, when you think about the playoffs and that matchup, whether you somehow bump into maybe a Charlotte Hornets team with LaMelo or even mess around and we get a sleepy Philadelphia 76ers team walking into the building. I mean, those guys are running up and down the court, even if Cade Cunningham is coming back into the picture at a full, maybe 85%, with this injury right now. But of course, we have to wait to see what develops after the play-in, and then from there, we'll go ahead and see what goes on forward. Man, but I think we did it, fellas. Let's go ahead and get it going. It's your boy K Witch, my #1 draft pick. That's Jada MIC. That's Bobby G. That's AP. And we might as well hit the button. Let's do it, boys. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's the boys from RecRoomSports. We are in the building, and it is Friday. So you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. If it's Friday, then we gotta go ahead and rock out, as you know we do best right here. I feel it in the air. Jay, do you feel it in the air? It's March. It's happening. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. All right, I'm sorry, y'all. Anyway, it's March Madness, ladies and gentlemen. We have been preparing for this moment for a really long time. I feel like Jay is excited. Bobby Jiggs inside. AP is inside. One time for our guy Evan Wheeler from P5. Evan Wheeler, what to do? We know you're on the road. We know you're handling business, baby. But if you get here, get on the show, we appreciate it. Also, big shouts out to Will Holloman from Willpower Athletics. Will, we see you. Thank you so much. But we're gonna go ahead and get right into it, guys. There are a couple headlines that we definitely have to make mention of before we get deep into the show. And it's pretty much things that we've already kind of gone over, but we're just going to make sure we bring them to our audience's knowledge right quick. So one of the things that I think one of our favorite guys, that's right, Alan, we're going to start with you. OKC clinches their playoff berth at number 1 seed. Now, of course, we get the opportunity to watch MVP candidate, possibly number 1 MVP candidate, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, razzle and dazzle in between the lines of the hardwood, and has pretty much led the Oklahoma City Thunder to another top tier performance as we get to the finish line of the playoffs, but somehow, some way, fighting through the gauntlet of what is the Western Conference, getting to the number 1 spot right now. Alan, you have to be proud of your guys, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a long time coming. Obviously, last year winning a championship, it was great for the city. It's great for the community. Everybody was super happy about it. Obviously, the disappointment with the KD ref teams when you're so close but not quite enough. Um, it's been kind of a breath of fresh air here the last few years with Oklahoma City, and it's been fun to watch. And it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better because these guys are in the prime of their youth. This is still one of the youngest teams in the NBA. And not only are they young, but they're deep. They got depth everywhere. You essentially have a second team on your bench. You have a second All NBA team on your bench. So that's what makes this team dangerous. Is that it's not just Shea, Chet, and J Dub get all the credit because they are the 3 superstars on this team. It's the other guys, the secondary players, the guys you don't really hear much of. Isaiah Hartenstein was huge for us last year. Alex Caruso coming over was huge for us last year. And now it's the young guys coming off the bench that are making an impact as well, even if Shea's out for extended periods of time. So, and that's the one thing, and you're starting to see it with, we mentioned Detroit earlier. Cleveland started to adopt it too. It's starting to become team basketball. It's not about the individual player anymore. Normally, when we talk about, teams and their success, it's usually on top of, one guy, 2 guys here, there, and whatever. But it's really started to become a team thing, and Oklahoma City's become the embodiment of that. So, I'm excited. I'm can't wait to see how they do. Even if they don't make the finals for a second year in a row, I'll still be proud of this team because they have brought new life into a city that, while it's been slowly but surely developing. We got a new arena coming here pretty soon. There's been talks that maybe they go Major League Baseball here pretty soon. Down the line, but if not for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who knows what this city would be right now. So very, very proud of what this team has been able to accomplish. And also shout out to Tanner, by the way, got me a signed SGA jersey. So I love that.
Yeah, shout out to Tan, man, from our of course our guy from Rec Room, but also from Basement Booth Fantasy. Tanner, we appreciate you. I don't know why you ain't get me no jersey, Tanner. I mean, but it's all good. Moving forward, guys. So also Victor Wembanyama secured the Spurs' first playoff berth since 2019. Now, this is a monumental moment because as we are all, most of us are somewhat in our 30s or 40s. There is a very few moments in time when we can remember the Spurs not being a part of the playoffs. I mean, going from David Robinson to the Tim Duncan era plays the center. to the Manu Ginobili, Tony Parkers, Bruce Bowens, the list goes on and on of the players that they've had in those jerseys. But every time they put a player in the jersey, they were in the playoffs. So to say that we've missed what since 2019, 7 years of solid Spurs basketball, I mean, we can truly point the finger at maybe two people, which would be Spurs great, Spurs legend, Spurs centerpiece and foundation setter, Greg Popovich, but the foundation was raised up, if you will. It was raised up 7 feet when they drafted Victor Wembanyama. I can't really even go into details and tell you what the drafting of this young Frenchman has done for the organization, but it's bearing fruit very early on in the marriage between this player and this organization, and I think that they have to be ecstatic about what their future holds. And then moving forward, look at that. Luka Doncic recorded a 60-point game for the Lakers, the first since Kobe Bryant. Once again, another nostalgic moment in time in which we have to say nobody in a Lakers uniform has scored 60 since Kobe. Uh, Once again, another 8-9 year period in which nothing has happened. And they've had LeBron, they've had Anthony Davis. You know, it's wild to say that these things are, part of the narrative right now. LeBron James tied Robert Parrish for the most regular season games played in NBA history. I mean, Goat James goes on and on. At 40 some odd years old, we can't even tell. Jay and I were watching the game the other day and having a conversation, and to see that alley oop, Jay, I know you saw. I know you know what I'm talking about. At 40, 41, almost 42, we still catching alleys from 180-degree angles, bro. That's a wild feat, isn't it?
Yeah. I used to do it, but that's a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
But of course, man, and then go moving forward. Somehow, some way, I would be remiss to not bring up the fact that, like we mentioned, Oklahoma City Thunder sitting at number 1, San Antonio Spurs at number 2, Lakers at 3, which we might not have expected after they won 8 straight, somewhere behind Luka and LeBron being basically the number 3 option. Minnesota Timberwolves, the Houston Rockets at 5, Denver at 6, very much surprisingly sliding down in the rankings. The Phoenix Suns staying steadfast and ready at number 7, and then the Clippers is just clipping. They clipping along right there at 8 with 34 and 36. Guess what, Jake? Guess who's 9?
Nah, you guess who's 8?
Well, yeah, okay. Excuse me. Guess who's 8?
Yeah.
right around. Well, yeah, of course, because of the tiebreaker, right? Golden State Warriors at 10. It's after that it pretty much falls off a cliff. But I can't wait to see what the play-in tournament looks like for the Western Conference, and I am so excited about that as we get to these last 14 or 11 games, depending on which team we're talking about.
Real quick, why do I feel like the Clippers are in the same conversation as like the Chargers and the Mariners in other sports? Where it's like, what is it like every time the Chargers fail to get something done? Oh, the Chargers are just going to charge this away, or the Mariners are going to mariner it away. I feel like that's been the Clippers. Anytime the Clippers have had an inkling of success somehow, some way, for some reason or another, they just find a way to make it go away. And it sucks because you've had so many good players on this organization. I mean, Kawhi Leonard's still there. You had Paul George at one point. You had a great team with Chris Paul, who just retired, and Blake Griffin. You've had great teams for this organization. Just have not been able to get over the hump for whatever reason.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say this with some pride. The next thing that I wanted to move into, and I appreciate Jay for throwing this in there. The NBA is moving toward voting on expansion to Seattle and Las Vegas. That's right. For the 28-29 season, Bobby G, you are in Vegas. Bobby G, you have witnessed some of the most masterful, most put on, most celebrated moments in sports in Vegas. You got the Aces. You saw the Grand Prix as they cut off some of the streets. You saw the what is that? The dome? What, not the dome? You know what I'm talking about?
The Sphere.
The Sphere. Yeah, we saw the Sphere. Hold UFC events, have a U2 concert, which I think was great. I got to watch that on YouTube. If the area of Las Vegas was to invite a team similar to how they moved Oakland, will move the Raiders from Oakland to Las Vegas. Like, what type of ramifications do you see going forward for an NBA team to be in Las Vegas, bro?
I'd be lit. I mean, we've already hosted the All-Star game, the only non-NBA city to host the All-Star weekend. We demonstrated how successful sports can be in the city. You mentioned how successful the Aces have been, not only by their performance on the court, but by the city's presence in the stands. We see how we've supported the Golden Knights since their inception. And of course, that flows right through the Raiders. I mean, it's the entertainment capital of the world. So, having an NBA team would just be awesome. Like, it would make an attractive city just much more attractive, right? It's a transient city. Like, I got into a debate with a gentleman the other day, and the debate was that he felt that the Athletics should change their name because the people of Las Vegas weren't hardcore sports fans like the people in Oakland. And I was like, nah, that's where you're wrong. We just support the team and the sport, and we don't care about the name. Like, but it doesn't have any, like, they're gonna be the A's. Like, that's not a reason to change their name. And before I had to remind him that, remember, the A's didn't even start in Oakland, so
hey, yeah.
But yeah,
and
man,
not only that A's team has a lot of good young talent too. They're gonna be a sleeper baseball team this year. So
yeah, to which
if once they get into Vegas, they're gonna be competing in the American League for sure. So that's another team Vegas has to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, to which, like, I had to also remind him that their minor league affiliate is here. So, I mean, if anything, we have a more personal thing because we've actually watched these players grow. Like, I saw Nick Kurtz, like, rookie season, his stint with the Aviators. So, yeah, man, it's a great sport town. I hope it does happen. And yeah, man, like I said, it'd be fantastic. Definitely keep me from driving freaking 3 hours to LA or Phoenix anytime I want to see a basketball game. So that's not college because, of course, we have UNLV. So
right. Yeah, you do got the running rebels in the building, man. I to be honest with you, and we're not gonna stick on this too much longer. I think, like, Vegas is turning into one of those places where, like, you literally got everything. Golden Knights championship, Aces championship, excitement for the Las Vegas Raiders because of the #1 pick and the rebuilt regime being headed by none other than the great and legendary Tom Brady. And then to pair that with the emergence of the sports book in Vegas being, like, championed, right? The sports book there's nothing greater than going to a hotel lobby, watching 9 TV screens, getting people to bring you drinks, sitting down and having a conversation with a stranger about who's the second string point guard, and enjoying life, or who's the second string quarterback, or stats and things like that, and what your parlay is going to look like. Vegas adding basketball was only a matter of time, in my opinion. And I got a feeling there's a man that is playing basketball right now that's gonna find his way to one of these organizations when he retires.
For,
I don't
by
know.
the way, also first city to host back-to-back WrestleManias.
Oh yeah, for back to
So,
WrestleManias. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, dog. And that Vegas that lost, although we might not be the biggest fans of it, that F1 Las Vegas Grand Prix brings people from across the globe
Oh yeah.
to
For sure.
Las Vegas. It is a
Yeah.
big freaking deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, entertainment capital of the world. And then, like I said, I always tell my people it's a damn shame that, the Cleveland fan that I am, my entire life, one championship. And in 13 years of being a Las Vegas resident, I have 3.
yeah, you're right. Real quick, right? Real quick. Moving on, guys. This is a bit of a somber one, but since we're talking about Vegas and betting, we might as well talk about this, man. The Miami Heat actually are preparing to release Terry Rozier as he is at the center of one of the biggest gambling scandals. This is coming from multiple reports confirming that is what the Heat will do. Federal prosecutors allege Rozier shared inside injury information to influence betting outcomes. Although he pled not guilty, the Heat are moving on and expected to waive him within weeks. What did he do? What happened? I don't know. Let me think about it. Let me see what I found. So basically the federal investigators allege that Tony Rozier told an associate that he would remove himself early from a March 2023 game while with the Hornets. That information was then used to place over 200,000 on an under prop bet on his stats. He was then charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. He was arrested in October 2025 as a broader federal investigation involving 34 defendants, including none other than, wait for it, Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups. Oh man, big shot. But of course, you are innocent until proven guilty in America in a court of law. Terry Rozier. I don't know, man.
President.
Yeah, I said unless you're the president, but this is not a courtroom forum, but I'm gonna tell y'all, I watched one of the reels on those games that they were allegedly saying that he was fixing through his confidant, and Terry Rozier was doing some stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. If you get a chance to watch it, you can YouTube it, you can Google it. There are these games that they are alleging that he made the compromises. There are some really evident non-basketball plays that Terry Rozier made. And if that's what happened, and then it's unfortunate for him and his basketball career because Terry Rozier was hot, and I appreciated him playing for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, we also need to investigate JaVale McGee.
JaVale McGee.
I'm telling you, bro.
Because are you amazed at what he's doing across season? Like, why did he do any of that here?
Oh no, I ain't amazed because the quote Charles Barkley, basketball players they're terrible. They're terrible. and since you brought up, the court system, hey, shout out Afro Man.
Shout out Afro Man, Joe. Shout out Afro Man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Free
how
speech,
that's how you
baby.
get him, Afro Man. That's how you get him. And you get paid. He said he made them records so that he could pay for the stuff that they broke in his house. No, you about to get paid for real now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yeah, forget that. Them streams ain't nothing compared to what they about to put in your pocket. Anyway, continuing on, ladies and gentlemen. So the Bucks report suggests that Milwaukee wants Giannis Antetokounmpo to shut it down for the season, but a steadfast Giannis, reported by Shams Charania of ESPN, is stating that Giannis ain't having it. And we've been going back and forth with this multiple times, guys. We've been doing In the Hoop for years now. I feel like the last 3 seasons at the most, especially after he won the championship. It's like having a divorce and staying for the kids. Like Giannis has been fighting to leave the organization, but not really saying he wants to leave the organization. But he's staying because, and this is not a joke, but and this is just my opinion. Giannis is staying there because they're giving his brothers a job. They pretty much they've assigned themselves to helping out the family. They talk about that area around Milwaukee and how it was built up because of what Giannis has done to the community, in the business district, in the area right there adjacent to the arena. It's only there because of Giannis. If Giannis leaves, will it still stay the same? I have to refer back to Bobby on this one because a lot of what I think about this subject in particular is very similar to what happened with Cleveland and LeBron leaving. Cleveland lived on, right? While it was, even though it might not have been the same, the
Yeah,
Cleveland
it
area
wasn't the same.
still was okay, right?
No, there was a drastic dip in
He said,
in
nah.
the economy. I mean, no, I mean it's real. The businesses took a huge hit. um, yeah, when you have somebody of that magnitude who's a draw, man, we really don't think about how it impacts the economy of a city. Um, just their presence increases tourism, increases dollar spent, in turn increases your city's budget and funding for certain projects and funding for your school system, funding, for things in the community. And when you take something like that away, those numbers dwindle. You go from 80% increase in tourism to, I mean, could go back down to single digits potentially for a place like Cleveland or a place like Milwaukee. Um, and I don't know much about the inner workings of the city of Milwaukee, but I mean, fortunately, Cleveland, like we got some other things going on. We have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. As much as people like to clown the Cleveland Browns, we have one of the biggest fan bases, or there are many Browns fans who, like myself, don't live in Cleveland who go back to go to games and support. We have a casino downtown. They're thinking about building another one. So there's like other things to attract. In Milwaukee, I don't know if they have that same luxury. So it could be it could impact that community hugely.
And
Greatly.
I actually thought about, you got it greatly. That's hugely greatly. We make up words sometimes.
You know.
Jay, as I was reading through this, man, when you gave it to me, I was thinking about the other side of the coin. You being a Trailblazers fan, Scottie Pippen at the age of 34, coming on into the second act of his career, brought something to the Trailblazers that they were missing and kind of turned that organization around. If you were the organization who wanted to receive a player like Giannis Antetokounmpo, because I don't know if everybody knows Scottie Pippen at one point in time was pretty much the second best player in the league, and was making a lot of noise when he went to the Trailblazers. But that's not neither here nor there. But when I think about that, I gotta ask you, Jay, if you were another team looking to field a player like Giannis, what would your emotions be as you're saying, oh, they get ready to let him go? We gotta ramp it up a little bit, or are you just gonna play the field and see how it happens?
I mean, I don't want him. I mean, I'm being honest, man. Like, I mean, he's a great player and all, but I mean, you have to have some things going with that type of player. Commands the ball the way he does and the fashion he does. Number one, you're hoping you can sign him or get him. He can just walk out the door and we can get him, but we're gonna have to give up somebody for him. And when you're talking about messing with the young nucleus that we have, I'm not too fond of that, man. I'm not too fond of that. I mean, he's a great player and all, but I really, if we got a player like that, okay, cool. But I want to minimize our like what we give up for him. So that's that. If you ask me that, then I can't. That was a whole. When you talking about getting Scotty, that's a terrible. That's not. I can say a terrible comparison, but what Scotty brought to our team. Not only did he handled the ball, even more than he did in Chicago. It was at a point where we also spent a lot of money to accompany that, so he was able to go to a team, we at that time we was famous for having a bench. Like everybody on that team started for a team one point in their career. You know what I mean? So like all he had to do was just facilitate and everything pretty much went down from there. If we get a Giannis, man, he's sort of a black hole, man. I don't mess with black hole players, yo. Like it's tough.
Like Julius Randle?
When we got Carmelo, he sort of changed his game, which I commended him for the way he played in Portland, man. Like I wish that would have kept going.
He
but
was
a
like
play
60. He was like 60.
Man, but he still was able to Carmelo was
Giannis is only 30.
Yeah, but I'm still, again, man, like you gotta have good shooters around him. We already have athletic guys who can get to the hoop, you know what I mean, who can play defense. I mean, if you have a whole team full of those guys, you know what I mean, like that, the chemistry will be off, man. I guarantee our chemistry will be jacked up. We will have to change what we have now, pretty much, and I like what we have now.
All right, let me set this up for you. You telling me you would turn down Giannis, let's say Giannis, and we'll throw in Ryan Rollins, right? Giannis and Ryan Rollins for Shaedon Sharpe, Scoot,
2 firsts,
2 money, and a couple of first-round picks.
See, that's what you say when you say Shaedon and Tumani. No,
dude, you got Drew Holiday, Klingon, Giannis, Denny, and Caleb. I'm cool with that starting 5, bro.
Yeah, but with and let me add, some people on this panel did say that Drew would never reach that status again as a scorer and what he has done so far this season for the Blazers, but it's not a guarantee we're going to get that moving on. I don't know, like I just, because if it was that easy, the Bucks would be better. And of course he didn't play that much, but like when he's on the court, then it's still not that very good team. He's not like he needs a certain type of production around him in order to make that. What they got that out there, that championship team, that was like a flash in the pan. I'm just gonna be real.
I'm gonna tell you, and I left right at the right moment, because this was the say. And I know, Jay, you said it wasn't a bad comparison. I was just saying a veteran player bringing like a championship feel to a team. I think, just in that aspect. Everything else, yeah, you're right. Scotty did a whole nother set of things. But for me, right, if you put Giannis in a situation very similar to what that like 2006, 2007 Orlando Magic team looked like, where it was like everybody shooting and Dwight Howard dominating the paint, I feel like that was a time that the way that they played basketball was different. But that team was layered with shooters upon shooters and people who could develop their own shot. Giannis needs something similar to that, and that is almost what that team looked like, when they won a championship, except for they had Drew, instead of, Jameer Nelson handling the ball and shooting, they had Drew Holiday playing extreme defense on everybody who handled the ball, who brought the ball up court. You know what I'm saying? You had a whole nother problem if you could get past Drew Holiday and then deal with Giannis in the paint. I really would think that a young team, maybe a young team like, I don't know, the Phoenix Suns would give some bodies and also, good players and draft picks, because that's what they're going to ask for. They're going to ask for those draft picks. They're going to ask for a first. They're going to ask for a first the year after that. It's got to be that for a player of Giannis's caliber. But I really feel like if he was to get somewhere where he would have a renewed sense of being there, Giannis would be a whole, we'd have a whole nother problem, you know.
I
But
think the best team for Giannis, honestly, would be Philly.
Philly, what
Yep.
would just hypothetically, Jay, hypothetically, before we get too far off, I like that you said Philly, right? Philly's in the Eastern Conference. Philly's not that far away. What would you give up if you were Philly though? Let me put some bodies out there. We don't know
See,
picks, just
that's
put some bodies.
you would have to just go picks, and
That's it.
that's yeah.
You gonna pair him with Joel
Pretty
Embiid?
much.
No, you're going to find somebody to take him off your hands.
Ooh, that's the only way it will work though. So Philly might not be the best spot. Like what I'm saying is the reason why I said Philly is because you have a backcourt that can complement the way he plays. When that's really all that really matters. If you have a backcourt that can shoot, pretty much triple threat guards, not a guy that just could distribute or not a guy that could just shoot. You got two triple threat guards. I like I said with Philly, I think that they have a chance. Like, but when you have one or the other type guard, I think you struggle. Like when you're talking about passing out of a double team, that's deadly, man. When you passing the edge comb and you passing the maxi, or sad to say, the center, but yeah, even when Embiid's out there on the 3-point line, but it's I don't know the chemistry. It has to be a certain type of chemistry. I wish I could put my finger on it, but what they got out of Milwaukee that year was phenomenal. But I think those things don't happen very often. They don't.
So I disagree with that slightly because if you look at it, like they won more games their championship year. They won more games the next year than they did the championship year. The season after that, they won more games than that. As they finished with the best record in the NBA. I think they just got hit with injuries in the playoffs. That's what happened. Plus, the rest of the East got better really, really fast. Remember, we went from a play-in team to having Donovan Mitchell and being ready to compete. The Celtics grew up, and turned the corner. The Knicks tried to build a super team. I think the league just kind of flipped like on a dime.
But every one of those teams also had injuries, had devastating injuries. You had Tatum go out. Every team that you just mentioned had just
not back then. No, I'm not back then. Remember, they lost to the Celtics in the playoffs. Celtics went on to win the championship.
I'm saying when you're talking about the championship season,
yeah, for the Bucks.
That's all I'm talking about. The championship season, I don't think you get that result out of that type of team.
What I'm saying. I think you're saying it's a flash in the pants, but you got the next season they lost to the team that won the championship.
Look at those players outside of look at those players that accompanied him outside of Drew. What are they doing now?
Still produced. Bobby Portis is still a very good NBA player. Hell, Drew is still kicking for your Blazers. Like Brook Lopez still productive. Like they're all still productive, but you're like this. Like again, the rest of the conference got better. Again, the Celtics finally figured out how to win. Again, like I said, Donovan Mitchell wasn't on the Cavs when that happened. Then he's on the Cavs, and we go from a playoff team to snap, we can win the championship. Like I say, like the conference just flipped so fast that they didn't have time. Kind of like it's really doing the same thing for OKC. If you look at it, like look at OKC now, and look at the NBA like when the Warriors were on that run. Like you had the Warriors, OKC, Houston. That was it. Like OKC won the championship, and next thing you know, oh shit, Wemby's an MVP candidate. Oh snap, Luka and LeBron figured it. Oh snap, the Nuggets are still like so much like they're not gonna have that window to like dominate like we think, and it's more difficult now because the quote unquote super team thing is kind of dissipating a little bit, and the talent's kind of spreading more out, so more teams have an opportunity.
Hey man, you know what?
One last thing. My fault. One last thing. If you have somebody who's not a very good shooter, and he commands a double team. And all he does is just steamrolling through the hoop to the hoop.
Mm-hmm.
It is the biggest thing ever to have all 4 guys around him that can pull up a 3.
I agree.
And I just think that when you talk about the team that he has now, that's why they look so bad, because you don't have that no more. That's all I'm saying is that's why when you talked about Shaden Sharp, that's a negative getting rid of him, because he will be one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Tamani is not, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying is that everybody else around him has to be dead on the money as far as their shot is concerned. That's why Lopez was a great asset. If you got a center that plays like him or just plays in the I'm telling you, I feel like that wouldn't work. You got to have all 4 guys that can shoot the ball around him. If not, then it's never gonna work with him. That's the reason why I'm scared to give up anything. Scoop, we all know. I mean, hey, Scoop's been shooting. You know,
The Scoot. Yeah, no.
You know what I mean.
I watched him before he came to NBA. I knew he wasn't there.
He can go, but hey, but I hate to see him go somewhere. I hate to see him go somewhere and end up being a 48% three-point shooter. So, but I'm saying it's just all 4 guys have to be all in as far as his shot is concerned. And I think that's just all that matters when you're playing with Giannis.
All right.
I think the best fit for him would be Houston.
All right. Listen to this, guys. Listen to these names. Ray for Austin, Jameer Nelson, Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis. 2009, when Orlando Magic went to the
forget Michael Peaches.
Finals.
Yeah, there are some very vital reasons for why they lost that finals, yo. And it's
I'm just saying the shooters. Remember, you just said 4 shooters. You just said 4 shooters. That's all I named.
Yeah, but
it was trash.
But dude, we let's talk about Courtney Lee.
There you go. See,
yeah.
You go now. We're going fair enough. All I needed was the shooters. That's it.
I'm just saying you can't put in 2 players to do one job. That is the reason why the Magic lost the damn finals.
No, was it? They lost.
I never said that they would have won. I just said here go 4 shooters. Put 4 shooters on the court.
They won 1 game because they set an NBA Finals record for 3-point percentage, and they lost all the rest because they were trash. They were not as good as the Lakers. They shouldn't have beat us. They beat us because we had bad coaching and because they got unbelievably hot. They shot like 50% in every single game against us.
That's right. But when it came to Kobe, either you needed to have Peaches in there, and then they ended up getting rid of him, which was dumb. But then you have Courtney Lee. I just think Courtney Lee was just not it for that team. If you have a Vince Carter at that point in time, you know what I mean? That they could have won that. They could have won that, man.
No, they was not winning.
They could have won that, man.
Courtney Lee.
Courtney Lee. Courtney Lee was an issue, but anyway, moving forward, earlier, Bobby made some mentions of, Donovan Mitchell. So that was almost a great segue if I could have just went straight to it. But the point was Donovan Mitchell, right? Crazy enough to hear that is out with a bruised eye. Wow.
Yeah, talking out about Evan Mobley in practice.
Right. Yeah. A nice collision with Evan Mobley, leaving his left eye bloodshot and bruised. He tried to play through it against Milwaukee, scored 19 points, 4-14 shooting. Basically said afterwards he had trouble seeing. So what's going on is a scratched cornea. Nothing too dangerous. The team is saying let it clear up. Right now, Donovan Mitchell's out here producing about 28 points and 5 assists. This, in my mind, gives a little bit more room for the beard to take over in the absence that he will be out for a short period of time. So, Bobby G, are you, real quick, man, are you worried or not worried?
Not worried. I mean, he ain't the issue. We need Evan and James Harden to get their thing going a little bit better, and so this gives them the opportunity to do that without Donovan being in there. And they've actually done it. The last couple of games, Evan has looked like the Evan people want to see. I think before the game before last night, he had 29-15. And then last night, he had 24 and 13. So if he continue to be aggressive, then get Donovan to come back. And Strus being back is a big thing. So, I ain't worried. They just got to play, get the rhythm, get the timing. We'll be good.
Right. Hey, and I feel you. You know, this it's one of those things where the team was getting some traction up under them just at the
Yeah,
right time, just at the right time. But this may derail it just a little bit, as we mentioned, earlier in the show that the Cavaliers are right where they want to be, real sneaky. Like if you didn't pay attention to the Cavs being towards the top of the Eastern Conference standings, right there in number 4 spot, you would never know, but it's definitely a deserved position from their play from this past season. Right, man, gentlemen. Hey, those were the headlines. This has basically been the first hour. I want to make sure everybody knows this is the Rec Room Sports Show. We are doing In the Hoop on Fridays, where we discuss everything basketball from NBA to college, and of course, it is March Madness, gentlemen. I am so excited right now. There have been we had some things go on yesterday, you know, as we were on the air on ESPN 690. Games were taking place, armchairs were being torn up later on that night, furniture was being thrown as there were some upsets, man. Jay, my guy, 5 things from around the world of college basketball that we can somewhat agree upon. Alan, I know you said you wanted to kind of kick this one off, as this will be your final episode in this apartment. What are some of the fine 5 things that you may have realized from the world of college basketball as we have stepped into the time of madness?
Well, one thing I definitely want to talk about is that we did get a little bit of history, not just because of some of the upsets, but two teams in particular, High Point University and surprisingly enough, the University of Nebraska, winning their first ever tournament games in program history. Nebraska doing it in dominant fashion. High Point, of course, getting the upset win over Wisconsin. Uh, Love the student commentary for the game. By the way, it just shows you the passion that even the kids that don't get to play, or that their passion for commentary. It just shows how much they care about the program and want to see these programs succeed. Great showing from High Point in that game. Great show. No, Nebraska's looked really, really good so far in getting their first tournament win. Long time coming for both of these programs. So, just a quick shout out to those two schools for making history, making their own program history in this tournament so far.
Oh man, uh, it's
just want to let you
as we
know
think
Florida
about
Gators
that.
have 114 points right now.
Oh, say what now?
Florida has 114 points right now.
Florida, UF,
And there's still like 40 seconds left in this game.
UF at a layup on this one. This,
At least one of the
I
one seeds didn't sleep in this tournament so far.
Speaking of, listen, man, this is one of those ones. If one of the things, 5 things we want to bring up is, um, it's not necessarily anybody's game, but I think as we get into the field of 32, closer to this, and like by the time we hit the Sweet 16, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but one of my 5 things would be in the next round or two. This is going to literally be anybody's tournament. Um, I would be remiss to not think about how, when we were discussing this before the games began to take place, there were certain things, there were certain teams, there were certain seeds where we were like, oh yeah, this is a wash. It's gonna happen. This player is gonna at least make it get into the get them to the Sweet 16, even though they don't have a team. They may, get past this one. Oh, this team is in this conference. They're playing these guys, they're gonna get through. I think there was a couple of those matchups where even if they still prevailed, such as the Duke matchup with Siena while we were on the air. Like, to say that Duke had to fight for that win, I think is a notice to the other universities in and around college basketball. Money is being spent. Good players are out there. You have to put a team together. and it's possible. You can win. You know what I'm saying? What's my man name? LeBron Frames. Yeah, they put. Well, he was out there, right? Milt Chamberlain, and listen, I was watching that game. That is old school in the paint basketball, and Georgia had no answer for it. There are ways that are slept upon for winning these games. And I can't even think. What is a bilkin? I didn't even know what a bilkin was.
Billiken is
Billiken.
Yeah. I didn't even know what a Bellican was until last night, and I had to like actually look it up. You know, it's a lucky animal when you rub its stomach. It's supposed to grant you luck. Who knew? But
Whoa.
you know, I think that's a big. If there were 5 things, one of the 5 should be that very shortly in less time than most, because most of the time I think as we go like Elite 8, we go, yeah, anybody can win this. Nah, Field of 32, anybody can win these things. And it's really up for grabs. That's what I've noticed.
See, that's why I was upset. That's why I was upset why I couldn't be on Thursday's show, because when I heard you, Bobby, say that Georgia was going to be in the Final Four, I got sick to my stomach.
He said it with his chest too. He said it like with conviction.
This is a Georgia team that lost to a bad Oklahoma team by 20. So
you gotta have fun. If you're not having fun with your bracket, what's the point?
Hey, to be fair, Bobby, in your defense, I also did have a big Cinderella get far, and they are already out as well, and that was Miami of Ohio. So,
yeah, they are done. So,
yeah, they were done. They were done. So,
but this is a big sign of losing the game. Florida's center had 13 rebounds. Prairie View A&M as a team had 16 rebounds.
I mean, it took going to the Duke win. I mean, you Duke fans, man, y'all make me laugh because there's no way that I would be talking shit to anybody, any Tar Heel fan, when your team struggle with a 16 seed and they only played with 5 players, yo. Like, if you ask any coach of basketball, like, yo, you just almost lost to 5 players, yo. How you feel about the next game?
I mean, didn't Carolina lose?
I'm just saying, though.
But you can't say.
Nah, I don't care.
That Carolina's saying it from right where you are right now. And
I don't know.
Couch.
That's cool.
We can't hear you because we're in the arena getting ready for the next one.
Yeah, and then getting ready to lose. Because anybody that's coached basketball will be able to tell you that is a bad damn sign right there. I don't give a damn what level of basketball it is. You can't struggle like that. We talking about a bunch of All-Americans getting millions of dollars, bro, compared to 5 dudes, just 5 Joes and Jims. No way. But okay,
it's 5.
Okay, all right.
It's funny because I work in Norman now, and that there's a couple coworkers I have that are actually Texas fans, which is kind of shocking. It's funny, we were talking about the tournament today, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm happy Texas beat BYU, but I had BYU in my bracket, so I'm a little upset."
Dang.
But
and
Carolina
I picked North
lost
Carolina
to some Joes too, though.
Dude,
Virginia Commonwealth.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, that's why you picked Georgia. I mean, I don't. Okay, so with that same eyesight, keep the energy.
But no,
I'm just saying, we'll see.
Trying to clown this team for winning in the situation that your team lost it.
But I wouldn't be clowning anybody. Winner, if you win like that, I'm not clowning anybody. That's the whole point. Because I don't know what the hell I'm gonna get next game. When we really play somebody at a higher level, we almost lost to 5 dudes.
5
dudes,
but
Bobby.
It's their best 5.
The only 5.
There wasn't only 5 dudes.
I'm just kidding.
Which, by the way,
I heard. Like, you know how many AJ DeBanza played all 40 minutes.
Don't steal my thunder.
See
Yeah.
that? See, you can't. That's no.
He
Five.
went
You
with the
can't,
best
no.
five.
Fun stat about those 5 players. All 5 of those players were had double digit steal averages, which is why they all 5 of them stayed all 40 minutes in the game.
I just no. And then your coach goes out there and says he was out coached, and then your
Yeah.
player goes out there and says, "Yeah, we thought it was gonna be a cakewalk." Like, let's
Yeah.
okay. Well, hey,
They were honest.
you know, yeah, okay.
It's all
And I
fun and
mean,
games till you
it
get
ain't like he
smacked in the
got
mouth.
outcoached to a bum. Who did he get outcoached by? Yeah,
Okay.
coach. Oh, that coach got a championship
A
ring, don't he?
coach that he ain't
No,
playing.
that could. What? Jerry McNamara was crucial to that championship.
He ain't playing. I'm talking
And-
about 5 dudes,
But it don't
dog.
matter in
5.
college basketball, in college athletics. Period. Coaching matters more than the pros.
Those dudes need millions. Some of those dudes need
So
millions,
what?
bro. Some of those guys need NIL deals. All I'm saying
McNamara's gonna
is
get paid a lot.
put your
soon.
bottom dollar on how far Duke goes at this point.
Further than Carolina.
You're right.
Pay
You're
me.
right.
Cowboys
Pay me.
wild.
Hey, but hey,
Pay
you
me.
know what?
Cowboys
Then-
wild.
Hey,
Pay me.
check this out. Check this out. Did you do a bracket on our bracket challenge?
I did.
Okay, where you rank?
I have no idea. I haven't checked.
Well, it don't matter because you went for damn Georgia. So, but my
Yeah.
whole
I
thing is
also went for Carolina.
I didn't. So there we have it. Because I knew better.
But I also
But what
went
I'm
for
saying-
Duke. So
We'll
now
see.
what?
I'm not even gonna send them to Cancun. They'll send them to Galveston.
Hey,
Wow.
Send them to Charlotte to hang out with Caleb and them.
I
Ain't
picked,
doing
listen.
nothing.
Listen, this is
I picked
I
North
wanted to-
Carolina to lose.
listen. This is what I was going to say. This is another one of the 5 things, since we pretty much just named like 4 of them, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out the way. So yesterday on the show on ESPN 690, well, we got a chance to get through like one of the most exciting conversations we could have with P5's own Evan Wheeler, right? He talked about some of the things that he thought was exciting and couldn't wait to see, and blah blah blah, right? That's what Evan does. He gets us on point, he gets us fired up, he gives us information to feed off of. And one of the things I took from it was, hey man, AJ DeBaster plays tonight. And unfortunately, in that moment, I was excited my dang self, but when I got a chance to see what was going on, BYU let him down, but he did his thing. AJ DeBaster goes out there, goes 35 and 10, 11 for 25, 40 minutes, all the whole game, second highest scoring performance by a BYU player in NCAA tournament history. I wonder if Jimmy Fredette is like number 1. Robert Wright out there with 14 points, 3 assists, 2 steals. But Texas, I was not even thinking about them in the tournament, goes out there and shuts them down. And what I found was one of the major influences on the game was BYU only had 11 first half rebounds. Texas pretty much doubled that. It had 21. AJ DeBaster finished with 10 rebounds. Where was the rest of the team on the boards? Where was the rest of the team on the boards? They was getting dominated in the paint, but I found it heroic, if you will. I found it extremely like just uplifting to see that young man go out there and try to put the university on his back. You know, very similar to some of our some of the great performances that we've seen over the years in the NCAA tournament. AJ DeBaster went out there and he proved his salt with the 35 and 10. The whole game, I mean, somewhere in this guy's, you know, we didn't see necessarily as much as we wanted to see, because I think I would have wanted him to see him in like the round of 32 or at least the Sweet 16. That would have been great, but we will be unable to see that. A lot of the conversation this morning in and around podcasts and radio was if this was AJ DeBaster's last game. Now, I'm asking you guys the same question, but I want you all to keep in mind that the reported number that they are paying him is pretty damn high, if you ask me. Once again, reported, it is speculated because he has a clause in which they have not released the NIL number, the actual NIL number for AJ DeBaster. So
That was 7.
Like when I say the actual number, I'm talking about like with endorsements and all, like everything he's getting paid in total, which I feel as though and other people have speculated to say it's pretty damn high. Does that is my point? My question to you guys is there a reason for him to come back now, or did he just cement being at least the top 3 pick? It's over with. Head to the NBA. Is there a reason to come back to BYU and try and do it again, or prove a point, or anything like that, or this is locked in top 3 pick, top 3 at minimum, and he not gonna be 3? Let's just go ahead and get to the league. What do y'all think about that?
This ain't Jimmer Fredette we're talking about here. He actually, brought some type of attention. The type of attention he brought to that team, to that program, it was worth his weight in gold. Like he can go. Like he's done what he one game or not. He did more than I would say any other player has done in BYU uniform. You know what I mean? It's the type of attention he brought. I mean, just letting them know. I mean, they're pretty much shot as a program once he leaves. But I mean, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to come back. I don't think that was any intent. That was his intention. But stranger things have happened. So no, I don't think that was his intention to even come back. I think what he did out there, he showed why he could be the number 1 pick, why he should be the number 1 pick. He did all he could. But I mean, yeah, you spend that type of money, I mean, I said it before once he got there, or once he said he was going there. Like they put a team together quick. Because when you look at the teams previous to when he announced and the team now, it's a different looking team there. So I mean, but come on, everybody expected more, but some of my brackets, he's out first round. Like, sorry, like if that type of thing happens to those type of freshmen in those type of situations a lot.
Yeah,
everybody ain't gonna love him.
Not to mention, you're in a tough basketball conference. The Big 12 is going to be a gauntlet still in the coming years. And to Jay's point, I feel like that BYU team, even if he did come back, was going to regress a little bit. So I'm okay with him going to the NBA because I think he'll be better off for it. So,
and people got to stop this, man. Basketball ain't football. Like, basketball is not football. I don't care what number they throw out there. It ain't the NBA. I think we all agree he's going to be a top 3 pick, right? Everybody on this screen agrees he can be a top 3 pick. All right. Salaries they go up. They don't go down. Cooper Flag, number 1 pick from last year. He's making $13.8 million this year. Dylan Harper, the 2nd pick in the draft, is making $12.3 million this year. VJ Edgecombe, the 3rd pick in the draft, is making $11.1 million this year. That ain't including their endorsements.
Right.
Like, I don't care what shoe company he signed with, Nike, Adidas, New Balance, he gonna get upwards of $60 million. So we gotta stop and stop. If he was playing football, yeah, stay, because that money is a little bit different, and it's a little bit different on how the rookies earn it. In basketball, he ain't got that problem. He's gonna get a fully guaranteed contract, and he's gonna get a fully guaranteed shoe deal. He'll probably keep the existing endorsements that he already has. He'll probably re-up again in the pros. So it's like, yeah, there's no need for him to go back. He solidified himself as a top 3 pick to me at worst. Yeah, man, go on. There's nothing for you to stay for.
Yeah, I said the same thing, man. It's partially the idea that he could come back, but for what is what I was going to say if anybody had anything. He went out there, he put the jersey on, he put the team on his back. He did it for a whole season. Jay basically said it, man. It was worth its weight in gold. When he made the announcement on First Take with Stephen A. Smith almost 7-8 months ago, there was a uproar, I think, in the basketball community because Brigham Young University does not scream elite basketball program. I think that they will reap the benefits of him having been there and him having had make some noise for the next 3 to 4 years, and that's cool. That's how it is. It's a partnership now. It's not like it used to be where you have to go in there, you got to stick around. They're looking for, guys who are in their second, third, and fourth years, the Bobby Hurleys of the world and things of that nature. When you make that noise and you're a freshman and they know about you before then because of they've been watching you since you've been in middle school playing AAU ball, go ahead and go. And I compare it to one of those things where like yesterday I saw the footage of Rajon Rondo's son, who was 13, playing in the Tennessee high school in like the Kentucky high school basketball championship. The boy is 13. He's playing varsity basketball. They are watching you right now. So they know how good you are. They know your work ethic. They know what you're going to do. If you're going to go get the money, bro, get the money. You can always go to school online or come back after your NBA career is over. See Mario Chalmers, as Mario Chalmers is now at Kansas trying to get a bachelor's degree, and his post his NBA career. But
if you couldn't do anything on that, if you were on that campus too with the things you can't do on that campus, you probably be balling out of your mind too, man.
I mean, hey, Brigham Young.
A lot of frustration is being taken on that rim, bro. Just saying.
Hey,
the mindful Mormon.
You know what I'm saying? The only thing, I had a comment or a joke. I'm gonna keep it to myself. Anyway, dog, let's keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? We did a little more than 5 things. I think that was pretty good. But somewhere in here we kind of glossed over it a little bit. Rich first round matchup was the most shocking. To me, the idea of shocking, or rather the level of difficulty that was put on display the first round. I just got to go with Siena and Duke. We were on the air, but I got a chance to watch the highlights. It looked as though it looked as though Cameron Boozer was befuddled for about 9.5 to 10 minutes, and we all know that's not common for him. John Shire pretty much gave them a good talking to. You can see a lot. If you watch any of that stuff, any of the things on the ACC network or any of the ESPN highlights, like John Shire was really giving them some good coaching. Let's put it like that. And I think that was what got their minds out of this was going to be something they could have slept through. It's very rare that a team like Duke, who has been a juggernaut all season long, who we saw go up against the number 1 ranked team at the time, which was like the Michigan Wolverines, go in against a team like Siena and kind of sleepwalk. Y'all talked about it. They only played 5 guys. Why did we not clobber 5 people? We should have ran them out of the gym. We have a multiple 4 or 5-star recruits in basketball on this bench. We should have just ran the rotation and got it going. But a team like Siena, very well coached, undermanned, but not undermanned in heart, but in depth. They went out there and gave them a run for their money. And there are very few moral victories in March Madness. There are a few moral victories in sports, but let me just say this: if I'm Siena, any of the players in Siena, or even the fans of that college, they damn near getting a hero's welcome once they return. Because they gave it their all. They fought hard all season long, and they went up against Goliath with the slingshot. And even though they missed, they still hit pay dirt in my mind. You know what I'm saying? And in the minds of America and the people who watch this game, because the name Siena was said millions of times in the past 2 days, I guarantee, because nobody saw this being the outcome. Yes, okay, let me change that. Yes, they saw Duke winning. They saw that. We saw Duke winning, but we didn't know how Duke was going to win, what type of effort Duke was going to have to put into win. And it changed the whole dynamic of what we saw as a starting off for, the field, if you will. So I think that was one of the first most shocking things for me. And we wasn't even watching it. We was doing the show.
I agree. I would still say it would be the same matchup that was the most shocking to me. So for the very same reasons, like I said, there's no reason for you to. I don't care. 5 people on the court, you with the type of firepower that team had in Duke, you supposed to run them off the court and pretty much force McNamara to go away from his plan and end up going to somebody else or trying something. There's no way it should have even almost worked. I just I'm if Duke wins it at all, like it would be a big turn. That'd be very shocking to me. Very shocking to me. But I don't care at what level. I've known coaches at every level, and that's like a doomsday moment when you see something like that happen. You know something's coming. It's like a damn Allen. Hate to use this analogy, but you see a tornado coming, and it's just shocking to me. I would say that, and the fact that you know all jokes aside, like I knew St. Louis would beat Georgia, but I mean, damn, like I'm talking about nuts, just hanging off the rim. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just going. I was about to say something very bad, but yeah, like there was some things that you see.
Worse than nuts hanging on the rim.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying, like bruh, like I didn't. I'm gonna tell you. See, I never seen St. Louis play. That's why I was so excited. I was just excited just to see, what I'm saying, frames worthy, man. You know what I mean? I was excited to see, Milt Chamberlain, man. Like I was so excited to see this dude, man. And because I see highlights, but I've never seen a full game. And all they show is him, throwing a little behind the back pass or doing something. But that supporting cast is like pretty good. And I mean, just Georgia does not play any defense, man. And that's the one thing I did know. Georgia plays no defense whatsoever. But I was a big shocked of how they handled Georgia. And I'm kind of, I don't know, man. Michigan is one of my, they're in one of my brackets, man. I'm kind of scared.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Texas has played as well as they
Man,
have.
damn Texas, man. You ain't
Because
lying.
if you saw the end of the SEC season, Texas lost. I believe they lost 3 of 5 games to lower level SEC teams like Mississippi State, Oklahoma, and teams that were trying to fight their way to get in. Not to be a bubble team, but to be in the conversation.
Right.
And you're losing to teams like this in overtime. You're one and done in the SEC tournament. You lose bad. I think they you speak of that Georgia team. I think they lost badly to that Georgia team. So I'm kind of shocked to see how well Texas has played so far in this tournament. A lot of people expected him to beat NC State. I don't think anybody expected him to beat BYU.
And then
And
also, Alan, I'm gonna ask you, don't you feel the same way about Kentucky? Like, and how do you feel about the SEC in its totality, man? Yeah, like, damn, man, they hurt my bracket, dog. Texas and Kentucky.
That was my surprise. So
Kentucky?
Thank you, Jay. Yes.
I'm sorry, dog.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, you can still talk about it, but damn, they killed me, man. I was hurt today, yo. I was hurt.
yeah,
Damn.
no.
Even more than I know you keep riding on Duke, but like at the end of the day, they gathered themselves, they got together, they handled their business. Kentucky should be at home on the couch. Period. Point blank.
What
Period.
the
Point blank. They should be at home on the couch.
Them in Texas, bro. Both of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It took a 40-foot shot and some players, inexperienced because they should have fouled.
What?
You don't even let that shot happen. You foul. I'm a proponent of that strategy. If you're up 3 and it's only seconds left, foul. Not letting you get the shot off. Yeah, but it is what it is. They hit the 40-footer and went to OT and came away with the victory.
Damn, I thought I was having a nightmare. I woke up and I'm hearing the game and I'm like, what? And then I see the dude hit the 3 from who they play again? That quick. Santa Clara. And I was like, okay, why are they about to show more of this highlight? Like, what shit is over, right? And man, come on. Where did this come from?
By the way, I'm pretty sure it's like middle of the second half right now, but going into halftime, UConn only had a 4-point lead over Furman. So
yeah, they did.
They're about 9 right now. So
yeah. So the last one I thought but this once again, this was an episode of life in which I had to watch the highlights of. I thought one of y'all might have brought up was High Point in Wisconsin. All right, that was another one, right?
Yeah.
That was like
a surprise.
That was I'm not looking at it. Hold on, let me click on something because I was just thinking to myself, I forgot to bring that up. It wasn't a surprise. All right, yeah, 82 to 83. You know what I'm saying? Of course, number 5 seed losing to a 12. That's always a funny one. You know what I'm saying? Wisconsin overall record of 24-11. Big Ten in the Big Ten, 14-6. You know, somewhere in the minds of what I was reading before I got a chance, because I was drawing a blank. That's why I was waiting. I was like, yo, it was something I forgot. This Wisconsin team could have, at least made it to the team, the second weekend. But High Point ain't come to play. This is not much of an upset, but Chase Johnson was out here really doing it. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? There are reasons why, NIL money is going to be spread around a little bit more after this, because remember, these teams, and there are other players watching these teams, they're going to go, man, I don't got to go to the SEC. I can go in the American West Conference, boy. You know what I'm saying? Still get that bag, still make it to the conference, still show them I can ball, still show them I can hoop, And
what's even surprising about that too, Whit, is that the kid who scored the game-winning bucket for High Point hadn't made a 2-point shot all season.
Yo.
All season.
That's the crazy part.
That was his first 2-point shot of the entire season, and it was a game winner over Wisconsin in the NCAA tournament. You can't write this stuff.
And
you can't write this stuff.
Not even like hit, like made, like taken.
Yeah,
period.
taken. Yeah. Even shooting threes all season long.
All year. 3 points, yep.
Now, I would agree the biggest surprise of the entire tournament, though.
Go ahead.
Darren Peterson's played 30 minutes, y'all.
Oh, wow. Man would not like that.
What do y'all think, though, man? They only up by 6. This game looks like it's pretty much over. They're likely playing a timeout game of some sort, but
they was winning by 30.
Do you see them getting out of the next round? Or should I say Kansas?
Kansas, yeah.
I don't. Nah.
Listen, they playing a St. John's team that I watched today. When they played Northern Iowa, I was eating some pizza. Northern Iowa gave them all that they could, but of course, St. John's team. This is where, once again, I and if y'all didn't get a chance to watch it yesterday, I brought this up, and I think this is right around the time that it will become prevalent. We're going to start hearing these coaches' names, like either between the second weekend, which is next weekend, and the third. Rick Pitino got the boys looking like they could do anything, and I feel like certain coaches put the battery in your back to where you play above yourself. And I really feel like mess around and find out. You know what I mean? Kansas could get a run for their money. You know what I mean with this Rick Pitino squad, because it wasn't like we haven't seen a St. John's team be well coached, have good players, have great depth. But Zuby Ejiofor, all right. That boy was out there playing with his heart out. You understand me? It wasn't necessarily about him doing anything outrageous, but 11 rebounds, 14 points, a lot of defense, 4 blocks. I mean, he made a statement in the paint this past earlier today. So hey, I don't know. Kansas got to watch it.
Damn, man, where did Florida play, man? Because that's a long ride home for Prairie View. You almost lost by 60 points, bro. God, dang.
Prairie View in Louisiana. Where Prairie View at?
That's in Texas, right?
Texas?
No, Allen, you know what Prairie View is? Isn't that in?
Where is Prairie View?
I think it is in Texas.
If you know where
I think
Prairie
it's in
View
Texas.
A&M is, put it in the chat and I give you a T-shirt.
That's in Texas.
I'm pretty sure it's in Texas.
Yeah, it's in Texas because they used to play the I forgot the name of that classic they play in Dallas, but
Texas Southern.
Yeah.
Texas Southern, yeah.
Yeah, they got stomped, man. They got stomped. So I guess man, we got some good matchups coming up, man. We got some real good matchups. These are where the matchups get a lot better, yo. A lot better. I'm looking at right now. This is from last night.
It's in Prairie View, Texas.
Yeah, it's in Prairie View, Texas. Hey.
Damn. Yeah, that's terrible right there. Hey,
so
we talk about geography the other day.
Geography, yes.
Yeah, Sienna, which is in Sienna, New York.
Yeah,
Sienna, New York. Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, Prairie View is in Prairie View,
Texas.
So sometimes it's the obvious name. That's where
that should be the running joke from now on. Anytime there's a school in the same name as the town, we should be like, where is it anyway?
Yeah, right.
I mean, you can check them though. Where's Miami University?
Speaking of Miami,
Cleveland
pulling the upset.
No, it's not in Cleveland. It's in where is it? Athens, Ohio.
Athens, Ohio.
Yeah.
So Jay was just about to get into it. Jay, you pretty much said it right there, man. What upsets are we looking forward to going into the field of 32? Like upsets?
I mean, honestly, this Michigan St. Louis game, I'm kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know. The way they played last night.
Hey, the Bilkins, baby, putting money on the Bilkins. You be putting money on the Bilkins.
They beat Georgia. They now have to carry the torch and beat Michigan. So they got to go ahead.
Defense.
They got to get that done.
Michigan plays some type of a lot better defense than Georgia. So hopefully they don't get it twisted and they end up getting stomped.
They also go through periods where they can't score.
Mm-hmm.
Who, Michigan?
Yeah.
Because of the point guard, man. I'm just playing. But that's gonna always be, man, Cadeau, man, he can get to that dude has some type of uncanny way to get to the hoop. That's no doubt about it. But when you relying on him to shoot jumpers, and when you talking about St. Louis squad, like I think they can force him to shoot jumpers. I'm pretty sure as a coach you would be able to tell somebody, hey, make him shoot jumpers, and you probably have a positive effect out of that.
Hey, get it done, man. St. Louis Billikens, it's on you, man. Give me, Jay, and the good people of the University of North Carolina something exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Speaking of 9 seeds, don't sleep on TCU either.
On who?
Speaking of
TCU?
Yeah, speaking of 9 seeds, don't sleep on TCU either.
I picked all the 9 seeds to win this past early. All the 9 seeds to win. Utah State. I picked them all. I think wasn't Iowa one.
Right now is it right now? Missouri, Miami going down to the last of it. That's pretty much a wash. Miami got 9 points. It's over on the more 6. Oh, there we go.
I got 12
62-34 with a minute
Yeah.
and 29 left.
Yeah. One of my upsets. And I what's the name of your bracket, Bobby?
I don't know, some crazy number.
Oh, I
I
know.
didn't create a name.
I think I know which one is yours. Because I was I think it's like the longest number on the whole thing. When you say it like that,
I got Florida winning the whole thing.
I think I know which one you're talking about. Because one of them, there's a bunch of numbers on there. So when you said that, I think I think I know which one you're talking about. Bikins is actually in second place behind It Is What It Is. But
that means nothing to me.
Yeah, I mean it's all man. When it comes to
who is that?
Who somebody that is what it is. That's my brother.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, his punk ass. But anyway, like seriously, he you can't. Yeah, he's pretty good at that stuff. But I'm in a paid. I didn't know I was in a paid little pool, and it was 25 to get in, and I did not take it seriously. And I look, and it's like 40 people in the damn pool. I was like, yo, please, I need my bracket. So I'm in second place right now. I'm in second right now, and it's a 2-bracket league, 2-bracket pool. And I got both of my brackets are in the top 5.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm hoping, I'm praying for rain in that. And I didn't know it was like gonna be like 40 people in this pool.
I just had fun with it because this particular college basketball season, I didn't pay attention to the teams. I pay more attention to individual players.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, look, and as we get into the end of what seems to be the show, if we're talking about upsets and stuff like that, I'm looking right now and I'm saying like I would hate for it to happen, but one of the players that we are all looking forward to seeing play is Darius Acuff, and that high point matchup right there on the what's really happening with that? I mean, are we is is it a possibility High Point could show up again and put John Calipari's team out, or
I mean,
are we
they're gonna
looking for
show
that to
up.
be what it is?
Yeah,
They're
High Point will.
not gonna win.
Yeah, that team is built. That team Calipari put together is built for the tournament. There's some teams that you don't see much out of them going through the season, but it's like closer to the tournament, you see why. Like this is one of those teams you look at and you be like, they're built for the tournament. You got Billy Richmond. Am I saying his name right?
Yeah, Richmond.
For the first time. Like, I want to say Billy everything else before I say Billy Richmond. But
Rich what?
Right.
crazy. But yeah, like that team Calipari, like I said yesterday, DJ Wagner was supposed to be that guy when Calipari got him out of New Jersey. He was supposed to be that guy that Acuff is right now. So to get him,
DJ Wagner,
my fault.
and Dewan.
Yeah, DJ. Yeah, his son.
Dewan Jr.
Oh yeah. I forget. Because
we saw him play at the saw him at the Peach Jam 3.5 years.
Yeah, how many years did he play for Cleveland?
I think like 2 because he got sick.
Was it 2?
That's what happened.
He had some condition kind of because we were supposed to have a squad. It's supposed to be him and LeBron.
Yeah, he was
Darius Miles or something or
Darius Miles getting up out of there.
Who else was on that squad? Ricky Davis.
Yeah, but Ricky Davis. They got him out of there.
I used to play a lot of back when 2K was like not as crazy and all the hype. If you could play 2K, you could play 2K with anybody and win. I used to get that Cleveland team in wax cats, boy. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I used to do that. But yeah, that's why when we talk about Dewan Wagner was one of those guys. If you could figure out how to get that crossover right, you could win on 2K. But anyway, I digress. Fellas, it's wild to say that we actually ran through an hour and 40 minutes worth of content. And we really covered just about everything, not just in the NBA, but in college hoops. And what else is there? The biggest upsets that we have left. Are there any others that we can think of and we see it in the next week or so? Or we just gotta wait for the rest of the games to develop?
St. Louis, we already talked about it. St. Louis
St. Louis.
now knocking out Michigan.
No, I ain't say knocking out Michigan. It just looked. Who knows? They played against. They played against a team that does not play defense. Hopefully, they know who they played, and they know how to take it to the next level from there. But just like Bobby said, they forget how to score. Every they go on little scoring spells. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's gonna be exciting to watch. Again, I'm just as excited to see them play again against Michigan and see how the styles, those styles pretty much go against each other. But I can't call it right now, man. Like it's all about parity now. Like it's all about parity now. This is like almost big on big now. Shout out to the High Point coach who was out there sticking his chest out, and that was like one of the most memorable post game interviews I've ever seen. So
Oh no, what's up with what's his name? Oh, which coach said he gonna fire his staff at halftime? Who did that? Well, it was who said that?
dude, I know
They hit him with the timeout interview. It's like, what's your plan? How you do something? She asked him like, you getting out rebounded with? Oh, I'm gonna fire the whole staff.
I cannot remember. I know exactly what you're talking about. I said, bro.
And then they lost the game too.
Yeah, he couldn't have been. Who knows, man? We'll see. We'll see. That was crazy.
UConn's only up. UConn's only up 6 with 6 minutes to go.
Oh man, was it a Prairie View game? No, who? Because they freaking lost. Who?
No, you say they lost. It was oh man, I can't. It can't. I can't get. I don't know. Biggest take going into
Villanova. Villanova's coach.
There you go. Dang, I would have never guessed. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. I forgot all about these.
I'm gonna fire the whole staff.
But he should have. Like, I picked them to lose. Like this. He couldn't be. I understand that was very frustrating in the heat of the moment, but man, you can't. You gotta have a little bit more composure when it comes to that type of. I mean,
you got to follow through now.
You got to let everybody go.
Yeah, we really got to pay attention to what's going on in Villanova. But like going into the 2026 NBA playoffs, I mean, it's not much you can say other than the fact that you feel like a team. I'm still riding with the Hawks, man. I'm still saying that the Hawks are gonna at least get through the first round. That's my thing. As far as the 2026 playoffs, I'm riding with the Hawks. I don't want to say anything about my Blazers right now. They're on a 3-game winning streak. We got the Nuggets next. Just beat the Timberwolves without Ant-Man. Guess what? We got Brooklyn next game after Denver. So whatever happens in Denver, we're about to start another win streak. But there's so many things that could be taking place into the playoffs. You look at the Lakers, how they're ascending, how the Nuggets took a bad loss, or could the Lakers pretty much go deep into the playoffs? I don't know. When it comes to the West, it's like everybody wants San Antonio to be that team because they feel like nobody else in the Western Conference can beat OKC. But in the East, I really feel like it's not even about positioning. Now when you got Cade Cunningham out, they have, I don't know how many games. You told me all the games against teams that's above 500, but I don't think them losing a lot of their games is going to really affect the Eastern. In the Eastern Conference, that's a big difference compared to the Western Conference. In the East, is just simply, can you just get hot at the right time, regardless of who you playing? In the West, you kind of need to pay attention to where you're going to end up because you don't want these three teams up top. So, my biggest take, going into the 2026 NBA playoffs will definitely be, man, I see the Hawks, man, taking one of those teams down if they still end up as a bottom seed. That's all I got.
Yeah. Listen,
Bobby Blunt.
yeah, yo. Yeah. I like that. I can't even lie to you, bro. A big shout out to my boy Bobby Blunt's coming through. What it do? Talk about Will Bam Kobe. We see you, bro.
You know what? That out of everybody, I did not think of Bobby Blunt's when 83 happened. I did not think about. I have
We
to
should
hear.
hit up my boy, yo.
Yeah,
Shout out to Head Kicks and Haymakers on Wednesdays, man. I miss y'all.
I did not think about Bobby when it came to that, and yeah, I'd like to hear his opinion on that.
Yeah,
Really would.
Definitely, man. We got to get Bobby on the show. Bobby loves hoops too, along with MMA. So make sure if you got time, you can pull up on my boy Bodkins and Bobby Blunts on Wednesdays for Head Kicks and Haymakers. Where they're gonna definitely talk about all the UFC, MMA. We got some good news. Sean Strickland and Hamza Shimaev. Hamza has not caught staph, so he is not going to be dropping out of the fight this time. So we're excited to see that one. For me, I guess I want to just say, man, let's just wait and see. I don't want to talk big about my team in particular, right? Not for my team in particular, but let's just wait and see. I'm excited to see what will take place in the Eastern Conference because I think this is one of the closest. Even last year and the year before when the Pacers were involved, I think this year without the Pacers, this is still a funny Eastern Conference. Like, who's going to come out on top? I'm excited to find out. Cavaliers with James Harden. I really want to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I don't want to say this in a negative light because Bobby's on the show and that's my dog. But like, if James Harden falls off, if James Harden falls off the map for this team in the playoffs, like, there's something going on in between his ears. You know what I'm saying? There's something going on between. That's what I'm saying. There's something going on between the ears. A lot of things that when you find out, about players and psychology, and they retire, they tell you, hey man, one of the things that was crazy is when I got to the playoffs, I never realized how tired my body was, how worn out my brain was, and I couldn't execute. Didn't know why. And then when I got out of the league and I sat down with somebody and I talked to them about it, they explained to me that this was happening. I wonder if James Harden is going to be one of those people. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if James Harden is going to be one of those people where out there in no man's land where he found himself on multiple occasions, almost about the Tyrod Taylor. What?
Man.
What did Tyrod do?
Man. He got a
bag?
No, he got something.
Yeah, that's yo.
I was to say, what did Tyrod do? I don't know, man. But yeah,
he got something.
But yeah, once again, I'm thinking straight up and down. What will James Harden do in the position in the playoffs, playing for the Cavaliers this year? We've seen it before. We've seen it again, and we've placed the blame on him on multiple occasions. Where, oh my God, James Harden got the ball. What's he going to do? He could have won. We saw it in Philly. We saw it in Houston. We've seen glimpses of it in the Clippers uniform. But here in the Cleveland Cavaliers on the Eastern Conference, will it be more of the same? I'm excited to see. And the Knicks, they got a coach that's going to play more than 6 people. Oh my God, what are they going to look like in the playoffs? So Eastern Conference to me is one of the most interesting stories period for 2026. And I can't wait. The West, I can't lie. We all know the West. We all know Allen. We know OKC, Shea Gilgeous, Wembanyama. Yeah. We know. Eastern Conference, though, I'm excited to talk about it because once again, I'm going to hold off from talking about my team in particular, even though I'm excited to see them. But everybody else in the East, top to bottom, Atlanta Hawks, Hornets, Magic, 76ers. I don't know who's going to come out of the play-in and then play one of those 1-7 or that 2-7 and 1-8 matchup. But I think it'll be a good one for sure. And I can't wait. Eastern Conference.
Man, I ain't trying to say it's the money, but there's some dudes I just be like, yo, if you wouldn't, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I'm about to hate. Because Bobby Blunts, man, why did you do that, man? You got my mind. My mind stuck on that again. Like, I've been thinking about that like half the day. Like, damn, yo. Talking about out kicking your coverage, yo. I'm not saying, you know what? I'm being real, like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wild boy. You wild.
Winning.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. I mean, hey, good things have to happen to people who get bad, like misfortune sometimes. Like he didn't have his starting job in San Diego, and like every team that he played for, he pretty much played the bridesmaid even at the last second. Like, oh no,
he was gonna be the starter until he got poked in the lung.
Yeah, so like you definitely have to say, go get him, Tiger. You know what I mean? But
go get him, Tiger.
Man. Woo, sorry.
At least he can say he ended Buffalo's playoff drought. So
he's ended some droughts.
He won it another way.
He ain't never gonna have a drought again. Again, you hear me?
I feel like a man dying of thirst watching another man drown.
Speaking of thirst, I'm thirsty.
Wow, yeah. Speaking of drowning,
I'm thirsty.
Speaking of which,
a beer.
Matter of fact, Bobby, I need to come there and get my beard trimmed.
Man, hey, fellas, man, I think we did it. We reached the top of the second hour. Out of nowhere, we've sprayed off into the Bachelor NFL edition. So shout out to Tyrod Taylor. Everybody. Alan, what you got? Alan, what you got going on for the rest of the week, bro?
So lock it in tomorrow morning. It'll be the first show I do at my new apartment. Hopefully, depending on how much I get moved by that time. Gonna be moving for a majority of the week, and then of course doing overtime at work. So I'm gonna be pretty tired. So
hey, guess what though? We're proud of you, bro. Great job. Keep up the hard work. Okay.
It's all worth it. It's all worth it.
Bobby G. What we got going on for the rest of the week, bro?
Shout out to Sally the barber. I can't shout her out on Thursdays because we have commitments to other barbers. So I shout her out.
Oh damn.
Yeah, shout out to Unique Trends and Styles, baby. Unique Trends and Styles.
So shout out to Sally. Monday and Wednesday, game time 216, me and Big Mike, talking Cleveland sports. Then of course, next Thursday and Friday will be the Audible Thursday night post game show, and then the Audible sports show on Friday. And of course, right back here in the hoop. So,
all right, and Jay, we what we got on the schedule, bro? What we doing?
Just a thirsty ass man out here looking for. It's getting a little lonely over here with.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying? I'm
starting to travel.
Starting to accumulate pets, man. It is time to travel. I'm just gonna get a dog. I'm getting a dog. I'm gonna get a parrot. You know what I mean?
You're right.
And I'm gonna get some sort of rodent. You know what I'm saying? Just
A ferret. You can get a ferret.
Yeah, like
A ferret?
Man, I don't know, man, but like a fish tank, you know what I'm saying? And I had a dream.
No fish, just a fish tank.
Yo, hold up. I had a dream about fish, yo.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Tell me get a fish tank.
Oh,
Get a fish tank, like for real. I'm serious, man. I'm about to start getting pets, yo. It's getting bad. It's getting bad, man.
Well,
it's getting bad. I'm sorry, but I'm wherever you at, man. I'm wherever you at, man.
And of course, y'all know we all
know. Funny, we started the show talking about pets, and now we're ending it talking.
We back to pets again. What? Yeah, we back to from spay to neuter to buying and getting more pets. Anyway, y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy K Whit, man. Tuesday, we're gonna be doing a little bit of work. We hanging out like we always do. Wednesday, if I could get with the guys from Head Kicks and Haymakers, I will, because there's a big premium live event coming up on Paramount. So I want to talk with the guys, Bobby Blunts and my boy Botkins, what it do. Then on Thursday, we're going to be back on ESPN 690 unless there is a televised ESPN game, but we will be notified about that prior to. Then Friday, we are back for In the Hoop, and we can talk about basketball, talk about that incoming week of the NCAA women's tournament. I can't wait to talk about some of that ladies basketball as well.
I didn't mean that.
It's going great. I can't believe it. It is March, y'all. We got so much to look forward to. So guess what?
30-point win over Idaho. Let's go.
We might as well go ahead and get up out of here. Tune in, watch the games, and lock in with us over the weekend.